Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Distance Dilemma podcast. My name is Shaun and I'm in Dublin, Ireland. This is Imran, and he's in Thun, Switzerland. This is our long distance friendship podcast, and this is our last podcast before we're going to do an in person recording because I am heading to Switzerland next week to see Imran. Imran, how are
He
you?
is. I'm good. Bit tired. I was telling Shaun there before he started that I had a bit of a long day at work yesterday. I had to do a double shift because the Champions League final was on, so the energy levels are low. But I've been looking forward to doing the podcast this week because normally we do it kind of 3 to 4 days back to back. But with today, actually, this week we had to do about a week, like actually nearly a full week. So
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of us to catch up on and stuff like that. So sometimes it's great not talking for a while, so you can just catch up on the weeks. Like I think some people like you don't need to talk every single day, as most people are busy. So it's great when you get to at least have little time blocks, so you just catch up on everything that's happened during the week. But yeah, no, I'm good form. And yourself?
Yeah, can't complain. Just getting ready for the big day, as we would say, So it's mad. Like I've been like getting stuff ready, like to come over, and like especially like in my job, I'll have to do like some work ahead of time, or I'll have to like get handover stuff ready to hand work off to people while I'm away and stuff like. And
Mm.
I was like just thinking like about this, and I was like looking at my work calendar and stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, but this is like 3 weeks away, and I like looked, and I was like, oh my god, this is next week. Like it just like
Yeah.
it's creeped up so quickly since we've booked it,
I was the exact same. I said this to Nicola. I was like, "Oh, they're not coming. They're not coming over for another 2 weeks." And she was like, "Imran, they're coming over next Friday." And I was like, "What?" I was like so confused. I was checking my calendar. I was like, "That can't be right." Because I was like, for the last like 2 to 3 weeks, we've only been talking about planning the trip because we've had to organise the train tickets and everything. And I was in the process. Then I was checking on my calendar, and I was like, "Holy shit, they're coming over next Friday." I was like, "I'm gonna have to get everything prepared this week
yeah.
with the
I
spare
think
rooms and stuff."
it's the way like like the weeks have fallen, how the weekends are, and even like with this, like it's a bank holiday over here for us, so like I think even the way that's kind of fallen into this is kind of made, it's kind of like that's where it's kind of come from. It's the way the weekends have fallen. Like no, it's just it's crazy because like it only feels like 3 or 4 weeks ago that we booked our flights to come over to you, so
Oh yeah, because yeah, sure, we
it's
did kind of
flown.
leave it a bit last minute.
Yeah, well, it was February, so it's not like it was like weeks. Like, then we gave ourselves like 3 or 4 months before.
Yeah, to get the house sorted. Still nothing on the walls. Yeah, it's funny enough because we actually right behind me is like a load of posters that sorry, picture frames, and we're waiting for posters that we've ordered. We ordered like prints, so they should be up on the wall by the time you're here. I must we
If
must
one of
do
those prints isn't the photo of me topless in the video, I'm going to be very
no
disappointed.
that's for the wank bank. So we'll keep
Okay.
that for another day. Yeah, if we ever do merch, that's going to be the print on it. To this is the level, just
But
Finn's nipple.
but like literally just like my tit, just like that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
not
That
like
could
the
be
full
that could be
body
the
thing.
eye on the
Yeah,
distance.
it could be like the thing from like 2001: Space Odyssey, like the HAL
Oh
thing.
no, yeah.
The little dot. This is my nipple instead, you know.
Don't give me ideas now. We'll just be editing Pixar and just the eye on top.
Yeah, if someone ever like if you're ever going to the States and someone's like looking at her search history, like are you plagiarizing Trump or something like that? And they look through, they see that, and they're like, we don't want you coming in here.
You fit right just then.
But yeah, like, do you know where you belong? Alabama. That's where you go.
Yeah, I love my mother. I actually have a funny story to tell you.
Okay.
Was in work. I don't know. It just came to my mind this morning. I was laughing at. I was in work on Saturday, and I work in the kitchen with a guy who's from Toon, and then another guy from Ukraine, and we were all in the late shift together. And a lot of people from work were staying back for a couple of drinks, so we're gonna have like a mini night out, play some games of pool and stuff. Gonna chill night out. And I was the last to leave the kitchen. I got changed and stuff downstairs, freshened up, clocked out, and then I went to the bar and I was like, what do you want, lads? And I said, yeah, 3 points. I was like, grand. So got 3 points, sat down. I was like, just want to play pool? He's like, yeah, cool. So I set up the pool table and I sat down, and then the lads were like we were cheers, and so I was like, oh, cheers, lads. And then the other guy in Ukrainian was like, he said it in his language, and then Robbie said it in his in German. It's Prost, or no, probably barking out. It's like Prost, yeah. And then Robbie turns around to me and goes, Chuckier law. And I was like, no, I was like, do you know what that means? And he goes, yeah, cheers. I was like, no. I was like, that's not what that means. And I was like, it means up the ra. And he was like, yeah. He was like, up the ra. And I was like, sorry.
Yeah, you can't. That's
My
so. I'm assuming this fellow wasn't Irish, like who said that.
No, this fella is German.
So somebody obviously just
And
told him.
someone obviously told him, but I had to explain then who the Ra was to him, and then I like went onto his phone onto Google and like show him how the Ra, everything that happened in Ireland at the time, and he was just like, oh, he's like, maybe I shouldn't be saying that. I was like, yeah, well, say that to the wrong person, you might be in trouble.
Say it to the Brits though. That's a okay.
Oh yeah, that's a must. That's a must. Yeah, so that's he's engraving now into the IRA.
Yeah, but it's like that thing of like, it's like, have you ever like seen like when like people come to Ireland for the first time and like, I've seen people.
Oh, Siobhan's trying to break in.
Bones, absolutely. What?
Come on in now.
Hold on 1 second.
We have
So that was the first time we've ever had to pause the recording of a podcast because I thought we were getting blitzed again. The last few weeks, it's like every time we record, I'm getting massive frights in the middle of recording. It's not easy to scare. Sorry, it is very easy to
yeah,
scare.
it's
Though.
easy to say, yeah.
I'm very like jumpy.
Jumpy.
For the say, but yeah, what I was saying there was about like, did you ever get like when people come to Ireland? And like I've seen people do this. I've not done it myself, like, but I've seen loads of people do it where like they're asking about like the Irish language and like because obviously the Irish language is on all our signs and all our streets and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
like they'll ask for phrases in Irish and people are just there like, oh, how'd you say like I love you or you're the love of my life? And then they go, yeah, it's I will kill the gum duggy on letters.
Yeah. Or poke. I always get the poke my hole one. People always say that to people. Because I think it sounds close enough if you think about it, like because it's three words as well. Like Pog Mahal is like I love you would be that's kind of easy for a person to pick up on. I don't know, I don't know, but I'm sure people do the same in their countries when you move over. But I don't know if it's just Irish lads having the laugh.
I've only I think maybe it's because like a lot of people I'd say there's a lot of tourists that come here that just don't know about the Irish language. So, like I think it's different when we would go to like France or Spain or Germany or like any other language that speak a bit more of a popular language. It might be a bit more of a like a bit more of a conscious thing of like okay, it's not as like as niche in a way like like that.
Oh,
It's a bit more conscious. Whereas like I think when tourists come to Ireland, like not everybody realizes there is an Irish language. Like
true. You tried to say ask away like it is with the hipsters.
I don't know about you. I would love to like. I wish I was fluent in Irish.
Same. I did really enjoy the language when I was in school, especially from 4th, 5th, and 6th. Shout out to Mr. McFunyog. But yeah, I wish I probably had more interest at a younger age, and I kind of kept it going. My Darry's really into it. He's like he watches a lot TG Carter, like really interested on the language, the history of it. But like he says himself, he doesn't do it enough to be able to pick it up. You've really got to be down near Gaeltacht or be involved in like sections where you'll be using the language, which is really only the public sector. So
I only have like 2 or 3 friends. Like I've 2 friends who can speak it fluently. One of them's a teacher, and one of them is my photographer Liam, because he went to Gael school. That's the thing. Like one of my Robin as well. Robin's brothers all go to a Gael school, so they can all speak fluent Irish, which is quite funny because like they can like chat shit in the house. And nobody knows what they're talking about. But like it's something that I wish I kind of kept it up after school a little bit more. And like so I was like you, I loved it in 4th, 5th, and 6th year. I'd not like I feel like as I like in 3rd year as I started to learn about like the Troubles and all the stuff that happened with the rise and the Civil War and like learning about our whole history with the Brits, it kind of makes you like feel that like sense of pride towards being Irish, and then like wanting to you know like showcase what's unique about being Irish, like So like I think it's a shame. I would love them to. I would love them to like bring it more into the school system. Like I wish they would kind of up the budget for Wales schools and stuff. And I wish like it's something that like I don't ever want kids. I really don't. But if we were to have kids, I would really be like, I would really want them to go to a Wales school. It'd be something I'd be like quite like like I think it's really important. Like
I wish it was more pushed in mainstream. I feel like you don't hear enough about Gael schools as much as you did about 10 to 12 years ago. I think now it's really become swept under the rug a little bit in the country. And I feel like it's only in certain areas that you can actually find Gael schools. And I think that's another big problem. There isn't many Gael schools within people's local areas. So they're thinking, well, I don't want to have to drive 45 minutes just to drop my kid to a Gael school. But I'd be in the same boat as you. I think as well as just giving them a sense of identity as being Irish as well, and being kind of, I think they'll probably respect that a lot more as they get older. I think maybe at a young age they wouldn't be too fond of the idea, just because I'm thinking like they're having to think, oh, well, I have to learn a whole new language that I know nothing about. But I think in the long run, when they look back at it, they'll probably be happy with it.
It's one of those things that like I think like when it's like one of the things about becoming an adult, that like when you're a kid and your friends, family, or when your family and friends that are older than you are like trying to like give you a responsible talk and be like, I know you don't want to hear this, but you'll thank me in the long run. Like I think it's it's kind of similar to that, where like the kids will be like, oh no, I don't want to. It's like it's never blah blah blah. But I think in the long run, like there's like far more people who would be grateful for it than not. Like I would love, like I've been thinking about this for a while, like because I would love to like just start adding like what people say, like adding a couple of fuckle every day, like just increasing your words by a little bit every day, like like it'd be cool. Like I think it'd be deadly too, like if it ever got to the point where like me and you could do a podcast in Irish, like that's not something that could happen in the next year, like but it would be tough work. Like it would be cool to do it down the line, like like in a couple of years if we both like decide to learn it, like or pick it back up, because like I can understand Irish when I'm listening to it. Like I could tune into TG Cahir and like have a good idea what's going on, but it's like reciprocating it, or like if when I'm reading it as well, like I can kind of like pick up on patterns and like verbs and stuff from when we were in school, and then there's like a lot of modern words as well that like are very easy to translate, like I would love, like I like have this thing of like what I would love to happen to like reignite the Irish language. I think on Irish television all ads should be in Irish, because I've seen it with a couple of companies where they'll do an English and an Irish version of an ad. So I think they should make all ads Oscuelga. So whenever you're watching RTE or TCR or Virgin Media, but like imagine that like if you're watching the Champions League or something like that on Virgin Media and just all the ads are in Irish. It's such a small thing in the background, but like it's just, it'll put it in your head, like and then even like if the news could be done in Irish. Now like like this, I'm not saying like we do like a hard launch, like just tomorrow drop and start doing it in Irish, like I'm not saying that, but I think like long term try and move it into there, like have it be like a 5-year plan where like we start gradually just like doing these things and like move English to being like, technically on paper English is the second language of the country and Irish is the first language of the country, but realistically like we're sitting here now speaking English, like
That's actually a good idea. Years ago, do you remember, I don't know if it's still going, I think it's called Fairview or Fairview. It was basically Fairview, and it was a company that started just basically broaden only based Irish channels into like a Fire Stick, and one of the channels that was on it was TG Carter Plus, and this is what they did. They actually did a lot of the ads with only in Irish that were originally either like, I think I seen one before and it was like a beer ad, for I think it was Bear Moretti, and they actually had a person in the corner of the screen who was like translating it, like kind of, I'd imagine he's probably reading the script of what it is, and they did that for every single ad. I just remember that years ago, because we had it on the telly. I don't even know if that's still going, Fairview, Don't know if that's
Yeah,
actually
it's
if you can still
Serview.
get it.
I think Serview is like from when they switched from the Airtel from. It's when they switched it from analog to digital. So
Yeah,
Serview is like it's like the old way. Serview is the new way for old TVs to get a signal to get a transmission signal. Like so they pick it up. So before, like, remember, like you used to have like antennas and like tuners like on radios.
yeah,
Like that's not a thing anymore. Like it's all digital now. Like so that's what I think Serview was primed for.
yeah,
That could be a bit of a simplification of it, but
yeah.
that's what I think it was all about. Like,
I remember when I was sorry, I can't let you
no,
continue.
no, go for it, go for it.
Just as a memory just popped into my head there with the antenna. Ireland played in the Euros. I could be wrong. It could be 2006, or it could have been the World Cup in 2004. I can't remember. But anyway, Ireland were playing in one of the tournaments, and it was with Darry and my mum. This is back when I lived down in Cavan, and we could not get a signal in the house. So what we had to do is we had to get an extension lead and put the box telly that we had at the time on top of Darry's car bonnet, like the very top of the, the top of the car, and like get the antenna and like adjust it. Now, bear in mind, guys, I lived in a cottage down in the country in Cavan. I didn't live in an estate or anything like that. So it was that, and the antenna would only work at like one specific angle for like a perfect TV with like no static. So Ari had to like lean something on it, and the antenna was just sticking out the whole time. It's mad to think like that's not even like that's less than 20 years ago.
Yeah,
And now look at us like
yeah. Technology's come like such like technology has like jumped so much in the last like 25 years.
it's crazy.
Like it is
Honestly,
crazy, but like it's a domino effect of like I think we're now kind of like at a period where I think tech is gonna like stabilize for like another 10 years. Like I don't think there's gonna be any more. Like I think AI was kind of like the peak of what it's the peak of what like this era of technology is capable of doing, and I do think it will expand beyond that. Like
of
but
course.
I think there's like too many like buggy things around. I think like the market needs to get simplified a bit more. Android users, I'm looking at you. People who use Android phones, this is directed at you, but like there's like a lot of like buggy tech out there that like, and like a lot of like what I would like kind of refer to, like this is just something I call in my head, but it's like Temu tech, where like it's like it's low budget, low risk consumer tech. Like I think that type of stuff needs to be like evaporated from the market before tech can move on properly, because like there's a lot of smaller companies like that are just trying to make a quick couple of quid, and it's not a thing where like it's not like AI, which is like a generational tool which is going to be used for years. Like I was talking to my cousin yesterday, like they're using that in secondary school and the teachers are encouraging them, which they rightly should be as well. Like people like because it's going to be part of our world going forward, whether people like it or not. Like I use it in work a little bit.
Mm.
I said just in case my bosses listen a little bit. No, but like we all like even my like I'm pretty sure like everybody in my job like uses it in some form to help like simplify things or just to help like cut down on time as well. Like
I'm not sure how I feel about that being used in schools. Just because I think you're losing then your own sense of thought. And like you should, when you're in school, like you should be making mistakes, because like how are you going to learn if you've got someone giving you all the answers? I know, Paul, I'll put my hands up now. I do use it myself, especially for you know what I use. I think it's great for using for cooking recipes. Or like if you don't know how long you should cook, like type of meat or whatever. It's really helpful in that sense.
I'm just imagining you're in your kitchen with a bag of 2-minute microwave rice, going on to ChatGPT. How long do I microwave this for?
It's not, it hasn't got that bad yet, but you never know with these days. Might lose my sense of thought. I kind of get what you're saying though on the on terms of quick technology, because this is my problem as well with what I find with the music. We won't go too much into it, but the music industry, a lot of artists now, they're being like sponsored by these companies like Amazon and Spotify, and then they release like a specific song with them companies, and like genuinely most of the time they're just like quick songs that they probably made in 5 minutes, and they've just whipped them out onto platform streams. The amount of artists that I follow that like just are quickly just putting too much music out way too quickly, and it just ends up not being the product that you wanted. Now that's why I respect some artists that they take their time with their craft. But I just noticed this over the past while. Of course, I like listen to a lot of rap music, and it's like so massive in the rap game or the rap genre. It's just like quick singles that they can just release. In my opinion, probably just for the money.
But would you say, like, what I would think of when I think of like rap artists releasing singles like that, a lot of them talk about current affairs
Yeah,
in their stuff. So I would be thinking that they're releasing it. Like, you know, I don't think you're totally incorrect in what you're saying, but I would also be like, oh, like it's because like if something's current, like, you know, like I like something that comes to my head is like the whole Drake and Kendrick thing.
yeah,
You know, and them clapping back. I don't like if you imagine if like if they had been taking like 6 months to a year to write, record, and release a new song, which, like, you know, like that's probably like the normal process, but they probably want to get it out quicker because it's still relevant. Because if you do it like a month, if you do it like a 3-4 weeks after Kendrick does it or after Drake does it, it's still relevant. Like, people will care about it that a little bit more, like, you know.
yeah. Because I think during that whole process, I think Drake had like released his diss at like 4 p.m. and it was like only like 12 minutes later, and Kendrick had already dropped the second one. And it was just like, imagine just watching that from a different. He was like, Drake's just like, I'm after dissing him, and then, you know, going downstairs, making a bowl of cereal, chatting to his mates, and then looking back at his phone, he's like, he's already dropped another diss, right?
What type of cereal do you think Drake is into? I don't know.
He seems
Drake,
he
by the way.
he seems like a Captain Crunch kind of guy. He's a bit zesty, you know. He's a zesty guy.
I've never had. I can't speak for what Captain Crunch is. I don't know if it is. I know I've heard of it, but I don't know what it tastes like.
It's a very fruity cereal in the States. You're probably very hard to find it here. Or in Ireland. I'd be surprised if you can find it in Ireland. Maybe you might find it in one of the sweet shops.
Yeah. What would be your like top 3 cereals?
Top 3 cereals. Now, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, this is where we're getting into the nitty gritty of this podcast.
This is the nitty gritty.
These are the topics that need to be discussed.
These are the answers people want. This is what the public want. No particular order. Honey Cheerios. Don't know if you've ever had them. They're class. There's these Rice Krispies, and they're like in like the shape of shells. They're also really good. If you know, you know. And then, honestly, solid Cocoa Pops. Can't go wrong.
I was going to put Cocoa Pops in my top 3. Yeah, it's like, I know it's a bit kiddie, but like, it's solid for a reason, man.
It's
like,
cereal.
when we moved in here, like, I don't eat cereal a lot, just because I work from home. So like, I can make eggs really quickly, or like I can have. I just kind of lean more towards like toast and eggs, or beans and toast, or stuff like that. Like, I don't have a lot of. I used to have cereal a lot. Like, when we were in school, I had that. Like, I used to like Weetabix. I used to have Weetabix. Like, I would say from first year all the way up till like halfway through my first year of college. Every morning I had Weetabix and a spoonful of sugar. And one morning I was just sitting there and I was like getting ready to go to college, and I just like was eating my Weetabix, and I was like, I cannot eat these again. I will get sick. I just like had like. I just got like such an ick off the taste of them out of nowhere, like, because I don't know, and like, and it became a thing. Like, I tried to eat them again a couple of weeks later, and I actually felt like I was going to get sick from eating Weetabix. So I've really turned. When I lived with Eileen, she always had Weetabix there, so I had it every once in a while. But it would be like there's nothing else. That's like last resort, like, you know.
Dog's dinner.
It was, pretty much, yeah. But like, honestly, Weetabix can be the texture of a dog's dinner if you wanted to.
To be honest, yeah, it's better get soggy.
Would you be a man to put like a lot of fruit into your Weetabix, or?
No,
one thing, because I love bananas, but I can't get on board with Weetabix and bananas. I can't be dealing with a soggy banana.
No, I mean, I have the same breakfast every single day now. Most of the time, because most days I get up around about 8:30, 9 o'clock. And I'll get organic yogurt, granola, cinnamon, a bit of fruit, and a bit of honey as well. And I literally have. Oh man! Stop, man! That and a coffee, and good to go. That's my day started. But then normally I'll have that, and then around, you know, 10, 11, and we have eggs. I don't know. I tend to have eggs most days.
I love eggs.
You know,
I have eggs all the time.
yeah. Like, what's your top three like ways of making eggs? I know your number one is definitely eggs Benedict, but like
yeah,
that takes time.
This
You
is the
gotta,
thing,
you gotta
I think the best version of an egg is a poached egg. But poached egg takes way too long. It takes too much time and effort to make a poached egg compared to any other way you can make an egg. Like, if I was getting it cooked for me, I would say poached. And then if I was cooking it myself, I'd probably say scrambled, but slowly scrambled. Like, you know, like the Ramsay way of scrambling it, like low and slow on the heat, on and off with butter and a bit of cream.
Chives.
Yeah, the little dry herbs that you get from Tesco.
Yeah, they hear Tesco. Yeah.
I will like go. As I said before, I can't do things half-assed. I'm either like making my scrambled eggs in the microwave in a minute, or I'm spending 20 minutes making them. There's like no in between. Like, you know, depends on how much time I have, and depends how arse I am as well. So I'd be saying if I'm cooking them myself, like that would be my favorite. Then a fried egg is just solid as well. Like you can't, but like especially like
Can't go wrong.
I actually kind of prefer fried eggs with like low cal spray because I don't like fried eggs that are really greasy. Like I see like especially like folks who are like maybe a bit older, and they like fry their egg in like rapeseed oil, and like the rapeseed oil is like up to the tip of their finger. It's like they're deep frying the egg. When they crack in, I can't be dealing. That's
literally
that's too fat for my fat ass, you know. That just from that's too oily. Like I like to taste the egg, not the oil, you know.
That's giving me like old man having a fry in his local deli. You know,
yeah.
like they cook everything on the pan, like all the eggs, all the bacon on the one pan.
There's videos of some fella on like his granddad. He's in his 90s, and he like cooks everything in lard.
Oh no!
Like
Jesus, his cholesterol must be mad.
like you know, come here. Look, he's up there at 90 years of age, and he's still
taking it out.
Like, so fair play. Like, you know, but like I don't like stuff that's like, even like after a chipper, like after a few bites, you're kind of like, what am I doing with my life? You know, you just feel like shit.
It's normally after you've had the whole thing, and you're like, oh god, I feel awful.
Do you know what I've kind of gone off over the last while is chipper chips, right? Because I find the first like handful are like fantastic, like when they're fresh in the bag, and you're like, you know, it's the first handful of chips is like an outer body experience. It's beautiful, but then once you get to the bottom of the bag, I think it just like the fat starts to solidify a little bit more, and the chips are kind of it's more of a big roast potato ball at the end of your bag, like you know. Then I'm kind of like, ooh, I don't know if I even want this. So I've started to like, whenever we do get chippers, I've started to like, because they usually like if you just get a burger by itself, they'll usually just throw you a scoop of chips anyway, which is like literally like probably like 10 chips. But I'm kind of like, you know what, that'll do me. Like I'll just order that burger, and I'll like get like a sausage, or like I'll order like something small on the side as well, and like I won't get a full portion of chips. I'll literally just get a little scoop, but that kind of does me then, you know. I'm fine with that, you know.
I'm not the biggest chip guy myself. Like I'm definitely a sweet potatoes guy.
I can't jump on. Simone loves them as well. I'm not a big sweet potato person.
I think once you make that jump as well, it's kind of hard to go back. Like if we're going out for food and we're at an American place, like the first thing I'll look for is to see if they've got sweet potatoes on the menu. But I kind of agree with you. If I'm having chips, I always want a chip butty. Like you just can't beat a chip butty. Loads of butter, loads of salt and pepper, or just loads of salt. I was gonna say salt and vinegar.
At the moment, I'm like counting my calories at the moment because I'm back in the gym. And like I'm eating a lot of that like thin 100-calorie per 2 slices bread to make sandwiches with. Like, so like yesterday we made sausage sandwiches with this thing, and like it's nice, but it's not the same as like a fresh. Do you ever like be just craving a sliced pan with a bit of butter over there?
Oh man, all the time. And like now with the lads in the pub, because my manager's Irish, and then another lad I work in the kitchen with is from Northern Ireland, and all the time like we're always talking about the stuff we miss from home, and one of the lads brought in Dairy Gold there last week, and we were all just fucking. We were like getting loaves of bread and putting loaves. We made ourselves
Are you
a chip,
talking
but
Dairy Gold?
like butter, like Dairy Gold butter.
Sorry, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So
sorry, I should have specified that, guys. But I thought you wouldn't do one.
I think you said Dairy Made, and I was like, I
Oh,
don't
okay.
know whether you're talking about butter or chocolate here.
I mean, I'll be down, Troy.
Dairy, I think you said Dairy Gold. That's what it was. I was like, is he talking about a Golden Crisp or?
Maybe. Yeah, we just bought a loaf pan from the shop, but we were all eating and we are looking at each other like, this is just not the same. This is just trying to make us trying to feel something, but it's not doing the job.
Right, top three breads in Ireland. Go.
Brennan's.
Brennan's sliced pan is top of the pile. Like,
Top pair.
do you know what's really nice as well? Brennan's do this thing called a bloomer bread as well, which is like, it's like really soft. It's like a really soft, small loaf. So it's like, I'd say about 3/4 of the size of a slice pan, and it kind of arches over a little bit, kind of like a sourdough in that way.
Oh, I think I've had that before.
It's just super. Actually, that was the bread that I gave to you when you guys came over here and had lunch that time.
Oh yeah, it's nice.
It's such nice bread. Have you ever had tiger bread?
I have, yeah.
Tiger bread's
once or twice, really nice.
So good. It's great in like a stew or a coddle. Like it's really robust. Like it's good for that sort of shit.
I miss like I don't know if the brand. Actually, don't know the name of the brand of the bread, but a lot of shops do them. They're like brown bread, but it's more like a sourdough based. And it comes in a green. O'Brien's, yeah, class. Honestly, probably one of the best brown bread I haven't gotten.
Yeah, I love that as well. I love that with like veg soup.
That's what we were talking about before. It's the produce in Ireland is so good, and I miss it. I only kind of come to the conclusion now, like I miss it so much when even just like the basics like bread, butter, meat. We've really good fruit and veg back at home as well. Everything is like fresh, because sometimes the food here can be a bit, a lot of it's injected with MSG. I wouldn't say it'd be as similar to the Americans where everything is highly with MSG, but it can be a lot of processed food. It's kind of hard to get that farmers market that you would get at home, because we have a lot of farmers markets within our local stores, like Spar and Euro and Centra usually get fresh fruit and veg in the morning sometimes. So little tip there for the farmers back in Ireland, shout out to them.
Yeah, that's one thing I kind of like. Like the quality of our food here is like almost second to none. Like I just think like across the board, like when you think of like meat, dairy, veg, and like you said, fruit as well. Like like I think like we really, it's something that like I see like a lot of people say as well. Like I see like a lot of tourists come to Ireland like and make their TikToks and stuff, and like they're all like it's something that a lot of people say that like the quality of food here is like it's a step up. Like it's really really good. Like. Which is a nice thing to hear, like but then like you notice it then when you go away. Like I'm sure, like you've said there, like you notice it, and I always notice it whenever I go to, like Spain or Bulgaria or like maybe like next week. You'll notice the difference, like
Definitely, I think it's because you've grown up so much in the same environment, and most of the time most parents kind of buy the same produce over and over again because that's what they enjoy. Like when I lived with Derry. There was never not a time where we didn't have Dairy Gold, and like sourdough in the house, because like that was his breakfast like every single morning. And then initially then I just started eating that as well, and then again you just come accustomed to whatever's in the house. But like you were saying, like because you've kind of we both of each other. Sorry, I'm stuttering to the max here. What I'm trying to say is both of us, because we've moved around so much. At our younger ages and stuff, we've kind of been in different households, so we've kind of had different produce from the people we've been living with. So it's kind of interesting what you pick up on.
One thing I always notice when I go away is the quality of milk. Milk is like the number one I see, because like I think it's funny. I've seen videos that are like, oh, where's like everyone talks about how good Irish milk is, and like tourists are like, where's the best place to get milk? Like any garage. Like, the garage, any Spar, like the general like the lowest quality of Irish milk is like miles above milk in other countries. Like I noticed that when we were going to Salou, and like especially like Bulgaria, where it's like the opposite side of Europe. Like I noticed, like it's a lot. It's not as creamy. It's a bit thinner because I'm assuming this is. I don't know if this is true, but I'm assuming because there's less livestock that they have to preserve that milk a little bit more. So it's either watered down or there's just a couple more things added to it to help it stretch out to be transported across the country. It's the same reason why chocolate in America tastes a lot different because they have to put stuff. The dairy farms and the factories are so spread out across the country that by the time they transfer the stuff from the dairy farms to the factories that make the chocolate, the milk will go off. So they have to add stuff to the milk to keep it from going off, and that's what gives chocolate in America its kind of weird taste. And that's why, when I see it, I've talked a lot about like tourist TikToks. I don't know why I can get them on my For You page, but like I do see it quite a lot, where like they'll they'll literally take a bite of a dairy milk, which to be fair, dairy milk is fucking class as well, and they'll be like, that's like the best chocolate bar ever, like, and like, yeah, because it's Irish.
We must have class grass the cows are eating.
Yeah, it's top quality grass.
Yeah, go on out there now. Have a little bite of grass there.
I never gave you my cereals, so I'm just gonna.
Oh yes, go on. Give your top 3 cereals.
I again, this is in no particular order. We said Cocoa Pops. I'm a big fan of Crunchy Nut as well. I like Kellogg's Crunchy Nut.
Top tier. The OG one as well.
I love honey. I'm a big honey person.
Same. Shout out to the bees.
Yeah, shout out to the bees, and probably like a Rice Krispie, maybe. Like no, I don't. That might be a bit basic. Like, but I do.
You put sugar in it?
A little bit, yeah, not too much.
Yeah.
See, I don't
Some people think that's crazy.
I don't like super sweet things in the morning. Like I'm very like old fashioned that way. Like I can't have like a can of Coke before like 1 o'clock. Like like I wouldn't eat a lot of sweet things before like noon. Like maybe like in work in the office, like more just to kill time. Like in our offices, at the end of the hall there's like coffee stations and they have like biscuits and bars and stuff. So like sometimes like I might go to the toilet and just be like, yeah, I'm bored, I'm just gonna grab like a single twirl. But either that, it's like it's the small treat size versions, like but like I couldn't do like a big chocolate bar that early.
That's I kind of the same. I do give myself a little treat now during the day, a little chocolate bar here and there. Has to be done though.
Something I'm getting into in my adult years is tomatoes. Like I'm fucking horsing down tomatoes. Like I'm having like tomatoes every 2 days. Yeah,
I'm a cherry tomato guy now myself because Nicola loves them, so we always have them in the house. They're great to have on the side if you're having like a wrap. Oh man, I'm so European. Honestly, the way I'm talking now, there's always hummus and crackers and tomatoes in the house. I'm not even joking. We're so European.
I don't love raw tomatoes. Like I wouldn't be a big fan of like raw cherry tomato. Like like in a salad. Like I'm more like I love like a cooked tomato, like a tomato based sauce or like
a juicy one.
Yeah, like I've been making loads of shakshuka recently in the house, which is just it's class.
Oh, it's immense.
Like I'm making that quite a lot, or like I'm just adding tomatoes into shit. But like I don't like them. Do you know, I like a tomato, but I don't like it. Like I don't like them too like juicy as well. Like I know some people love juicy tomatoes, but I actually like them the opposite. It's like the banana thing. Like you either like it green or you like it nearly black. And it's like that with tomatoes. You either love them juicy or I don't like the juice off them. Like so like that's why I prefer them cooked, because you can just kind of cook all the juices out. And then Baba booey.
Baba booey.
Baba booey.
Gabagoo. Bit off topic, but yesterday I sent you something on Instagram. But I'm going to say it to you now because I don't know if you actually seen the video. Did you know that there was a remake?
Yes.
Of Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
the Spanish one. I only found this out yesterday. And I never knew. No, the 2 lads in the podcast, I never knew about it. And this morning, before we started the podcast, I got up and I was like, I'm going to look on YouTube and see if I can watch like an episode. Man, the guy who was like Gustavo Fring is hilarious. It's like, he looks nothing like the character that plays in the original series. And I was just trying to like imagine like you'd never seen Breaking Bad and like this is your first time watching it. Like I'd love to see what someone's perspective is like watching the show. Walter Blanco.
Yeah, it's more like a Spanish soap opera than it is like a
Yeah.
that
Telenovelas, I think that's what they're called.
Yeah, like because it was shot. It was shot after Breaking Bad had finished.
Yeah.
I've known about this for. I can't believe you're only finding out about this now. I thought you would have well known about
No,
this.
I swear to God, man, I only found out about it like yesterday.
But yeah, they basically because Breaking Bad in total is only like 64 episodes, which is crazy because it feels much longer than that.
Yeah.
But so you've got those 64 episodes, and once they wrapped it up, somebody bought the rights to it to make a Spanish version, and it is like they didn't shoot it like season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They just shot 64 episodes. Didn't pilot it. Didn't they just were like, yeah, break it. This works. Go. And it's crazy. It is. It's. I think it's only funny if you've seen Breaking Bad, though. I think if you haven't seen Breaking Bad, you're gonna go, why the fuck is this so popular? Or what? Like, it would make you question how good Breaking Bad is because you'd be like, just seems really fucking weird. But it's because it's done like a Spanish soap opera. That's why.
Oh God! If you're listening to this, go have a look on YouTube because honestly, you won't be disappointed. It's hilarious.
It is really funny. Yeah. Like.
Yeah. I just love the way that they got the rights for it. I just think that's class.
And do you know what as well? Something that feels like never ending to me right now is Dexter. Right. I really liked Dexter. I said this a few weeks ago on the podcast. I finished the original show and we went and watched Dexter New Blood. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I haven't watched it because I haven't finished all of Dexter. I told you I only watched I'd say 4 seasons, so I must go back and actually. I think what I'll do is I'll just go back and rewatch the whole show and then watch the newer season. But go on, sorry.
So we watched the show, really enjoyed the show. Finale was a bit shit anyway. So then they done another limited series called Dexter New Blood, and we were like, oh great, grand. So we gave it a few weeks. We'd been watching Dexter for months, but then we were like, yeah, we kind of actually want to watch this because we're actually really invested in Dexter, and we watched it, and that was grand. And we literally finished it on Friday night, and I went onto Twitter and saw a thing from the Dexter official account being like, trailer for Dexter Resurrection tomorrow. Yeah. So they're releasing another sequel series in the Dexter universe.
Yeah.
And I'm just it's funny I feel like this is going to be a never-ending thing in my life now because I just feel because we've been watching it for so long. It's 8 episodes, 8 seasons, 12 episodes a season. So it takes a while to get through. I just feel like it's never going to leave. Now it's always going to be on my watch list now, which I'm not totally complaining about. I did really enjoy the show. But I'm also guys, you need to land the plane at some point.
That was me with The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead, 8 or 9 seasons, and after I'd say the 5th or 6th season, it gets so bad, and I just got to the point where I just kept watching it. I'd invested so much time into the show growing up because that was my whole time during school watching it, and my 2 mates Shaun and Aidan used to watch it as well, so I used to talk to them about it. But honestly, it was just at the point where it's can we just finish the show already? It's you're pushing storylines here that don't need to be pushed. Yeah. It's funny that you said it because I was actually going to send that to you yesterday because it came up on my phone, the trailer for the Resurrection. I was like, oh, I wonder if Shaun's seeing it.
Yeah, literally, we'd finished New Blood, and it was literally, I'd say less than 10 minutes later it got posted. And I was like, oh my god, I was sitting next to someone. The cast is stacked as well for, oh my god. This is the one thing. Oh, yeah. Do you know who's in New Blood? Mr. Krabs, Clancy Brown.
Clancy Brown, yeah.
Clancy Brown is having such a career resurgence the last couple of years. And I think he's so fucking good. He's I've never ever watched Clancy in that. And both him and whatever he's in has been fucking great. He's
definitely an underrated actor.
Oh, he's so good. For anybody that doesn't know Clancy Brown, he plays Mr. Krabs.
So automatic legend.
Automatic legend. But he is he was in the Penguin recently as well, and he played. No, it wasn't Falcone. Was it? Did you see the Penguin? Did you?
Yeah, not Falcone.
It was the other crime boss.
The other crime boss. Yeah, I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah.
But, the one under Falcone.
Yeah.
Easy there for anyone that's watching.
Now. I can't until I Google it.
Alright, go on. Use ChatGPT we were talking about.
Okay, hold on.
Hold on. Big things happening right now.
Big things happening right. Clancy Brown. The Penguin. Well, the Open. The Penguin. Here we go. The Flash. Imagine Clancy Brown, The Flash. He is Salvatore Moroni. That's it.
Oh, how did we not get
I
that?
know. That's
Oh, that's a shocking performance from us there, I have to say.
yeah. That's a big L on our
Yeah.
heads.
And I'd expect that if Dexter is coming out during the summer, so moving on to my next segment.
Wait.
Hey, we're doing well in the L segments here. Segways. My topic for this week, we're kind of caught between two topics, but I've decided to go with our best childhood memories during summertime growing up in Ireland. So, bit of a broad topic, but it was something that we had in a list that me and Shaun had created before we started the podcast, and I was just flicking through trying to think of new ones for the coming up a few months for the next episode. And I was like, this is a good one. We're coming into the summer season, and I used to love being a kid in Ireland during the summer because being with the lads all day kicking the football around, it was a great time. So what's kind of things that, like, when I said it to you, like, were like the first things that came to your head?
The first thing that came to my head when you said that was €5 munch.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Carla used to, like, so obviously this before we were working, and like, you do your bits around the house and get a couple of quid in your pocket, or you'd go and see the good relatives in the family and get a couple of quid in your pocket, like,
Yeah.
and like we would. This is probably why I'm still good with money now, because I would like ration it out to like a £5 a day. How can I stretch this? So like I would do like a €5 munch where we would go to two or three different shops as well, because I lived in Huddard, so I would walk from the estate down to Aldi, and then back into the village. So Aldi, you could go and get like a packet of biscuits, and like some jellies and stuff like that, and you could spend like £2.50 on it, and you sort it grand. And then you go into Spar and get your drinks and get like get like American cola for like 50 cents, like get like 2 cans of that for €1, and then like something name brand, or you could save that euro and like. Do you remember? Do you know what I really miss, and I wish there was more of them around still? Do you remember those Smooch ice cream bars that used to be in like random shops?
Yeah, they're so good.
I hadn't seen one in years. Like I genuinely hadn't seen one since I was about 12, because they used to have one in the Spar down the road from me in Mulhullard, and they got rid of it. One of the most heartbreaking days of my life. And so I was like, grand. That happened, and I was in Killarney like 2 years ago at Christmas time. It was like after Christmas. I was going in to see a Corona show down there, and like in the hotel they had a Smooch ice cream bar. I was like, oh my god, I didn't know these were still a thing. So I went and got a milkshake out of it, and it was fucking deadly. Now it cost me like £6 for like a 300ml milkshake, but
we live in.
we live in. But yeah, it was. Yeah, I really miss those Smooch bars. I wish they were like a bit more of a thing. But I suppose like things like Scrumdiddly's and like proper ice cream parlors have kind of like taken over that space.
Taken over.
But it's it's class.
We did kind of the same thing where I grew up in West Haven, so we're in between the Eurospar up in Harrison and then the Centre in Hunstown. So we kind of would do the same thing. We'd kind of go between the both. I remember when we used to go to Centre, we used to get like, they used to do like a €1, €2 bag of jellies. They used to come in like the cheapest brown paper bags, and if you like went to like the regular, if you became like a regular there, they'd like always give you a bit more. Do you know what I mean? Like if you knew to say hello, be very friendly to them, they'll give you a few more. So I remember before, like, it used to come up with like 10 cents, 20 cents that you find in between the couches and stuff, and just burn it. And then we used to do they used to do these fizzy orange 25-cent lollipops, and I'm telling you now, that's an experience. There's probably enough sugar there to feed a whole family. It's ridiculous. So we used to do that as well. That's mad that you've said about them Smooch bars. I'm having I'm having flashbacks now thinking about it.
Yeah, they were just deadly. So yeah, I wish I wish they were still around. At least I know when I go back to Killarney. Like, it was in a hotel as well. It wasn't a shop.
That's wild.
In the middle of a hotel. Like, it was in a gift shop in a hotel.
That's crazy. Shout out to Smoochy.
I was like, honestly, like, they must have like gone bankrupt or something more. Like, the company must have folded, or it's just gone. But like, no, it's obviously still kicking. It's just in rural Ireland,
Rural, keeping it going.
Yeah, I loved obviously like the freedom of like not having a job, and because like you're like what, like 12 to 15 years of age, is like the kind of time period I'm thinking of. Like, so like you can just go out and like just go play football. Like we used to, like, I know this would be kind of more towards like when we were like 15, 16 when we started working, so it wasn't always the case for me and you specifically. But like just being able to go to Hearts and Astro, jump the fence, or in my case, wait until someone made a big enough gap for me, and squeeze in and just playing football, and just like the whole, like, I miss like the no responsibility kind of aspect of that, of like, I'm gonna wake up today, what, like, I don't have like, and you still get those days in adult, but they're very kind of few and far between. Even when you get days like that, it's like, right, okay, but I need to clean the house, or I need to, you don't actually often get to like do a day of what you wanted to. It's something like I actually did last week. When I took some time off, I just took a few days off because I had to use up some days of work. I was like, I actually just want a day like that where I just go, I'm just going to do whatever I want. Like, I want to go. I went to Krusty Corner, which is, the video of that is up on the page at the moment. Like, you know, I did a little Krusty Corner vlog for the podcast, and I went to my old barber, and I stopped in. And I saw, like, I just kind of said, I said to myself, like, let me just do where the day takes me. Like, you know, let me just do my
have a me day.
Like, you know, have a me day. Like, you know, a self date, as some of the girlies would call it. Like, you know.
I think on like what you're talking about, I miss the simplicity of like your mate just rocking up and knocking on the door. Like literally no one does that anymore. Like, to think like your mate is not gonna, and it's honestly because technology's moved so forward. But like, I can't remember the last time like I've been home and my mate, like, without texting me, just like knocked on my door and was like, "Is Imran in? He's going to come out and play, or like want to come out and play football or something."
I'll do it. I'll do it next week. I'll walk out.
Yeah.
At some point, like, I'm staying with Imran next week, so I'll just walk out, knock on the door. Imran, go, come out to play.
We'll do BTS behind the scenes. There's like, I think as well, because you back then, it's just you've no responsibility, you've no job. Like, your day is literally school, playing football with your mates, playing games with your mates, and then coming home at like 9-10 o'clock, going home, playing video games. Like,
that's another thing as well. Like the whole, like, you know, Xbox Live chat until fucking all hours of the morning. So me and Simone were actually only talking about this the other day, of like, when's the last time we pulled an all nighter, and Simone was like, Simone was saying she was like 12 or 13 the last time she would have pulled an all-nighter, like, you know. And you know, it's like, it's so funny because we're going, do you remember those days? But me and you both know now, my biggest nightmare today would be pulling an all-nighter. Staying up for 24 hours, are you for real? No, sorry. I need to be tucked into bed and on my way to sleep by 10 p.m. nowadays. Like, you know, I cannot be dealing with fucking 24 hours of art, and never mind life.
Finn's a full adult now, yes.
Big time.
See, I started playing Football Manager with Nicola's cousins and our brothers and stuff, but most of the time they can't come on till like 10 p.m. and then which is 11 here for me, and then I'd be going off at 2. But now the only reason is because because I'm doing shift work, I finish fairly late anyway when I'm finished work. By the time I'm home, showered, have food enough, I'm wide awake. So normally my body clock is I'll go to sleep at 2. But now, since I started playing Football Manager, like, I'm going to bed at like 3, and that extra hour just being up is killing me when I'm getting up in the mornings, because I don't want to break my routine of getting up at 8:30 to 9, and then go to bed at 2. Like, I'm happy if I get like 6.5, 7 hours. It'd be great if I could get 8, but like, let's be real, for most people to get 8 hours, you'd be doing well, like.
Yeah, I was getting 8, but like, I've just been trying to get up a bit earlier just because it's summer. I love getting up with the crack of dawn. I just think it's like I
give your whole day.
I feel like you're making more today, like, because like the last like 2 weeks I've been going to the gym at like, well, I wake up at 6, I'm at the gym 4-7, and like I feel like I'll get back to my desk for like I'll have a shower, have my breakfast and stuff, and then like by the time I'm actually at my desk at 9, I feel like I've finished like not a whole day, but like I feel like I've done something with my day before work. Like, I feel like I've achieved something in a way, like, you know.
A bit off topic, but do you know the game Squares?
No.
Do you ever play this as a kid? So in most estates in Ireland, you've got, normally what tends to happen, because they were so old when they were built at the time, there's like a black line that runs through the middle of an estate, between breaking up the paths on most estates. There's most estates now, and they were basically they were made into these like blocks of paths when they were put in, because that's how they did them at most estates. They just like patternized them when they were doing them. And basically they're like mini squares. So when we were a kid, we played this game where you had to like bounce the ball in the person's square, and then it would go out of bounds into the path. And then like you were like a tier level. So if you're at the top, you'd have to knock every single person down at the very bottom. And if you're at the bottom and it went out your square, you're knocked out. And then you have lives and stuff like that.
Combination of curbs and tennis.
Pretty much, yeah. and when I'm telling you, like the amount of times we'd like have arguments as kids playing that game was crazy. Like people like genuinely having disputes, like saying all names to each other. It just came back into my head there. And the amount of football. Here's the thing: you definitely remember this as a kid. The football going underneath the car. And having to get on your hands and knees and like crawl trying to get the ball that's underneath the bonnet or like underneath the spoiler at the back of the car. The amount of footballs we've lost during the years, like.
Yeah, I remember one time I was playing football on my road, and like it was just me and like one other person, and like it was like a brand new Champions League final ball for that year or something like that. Now I was like 10 or something like this when this happened, but like somebody, I think I might have booted up the road or something like that, and like we were just chasing the ball. There's like two of us on the road kicking it around, right? And I booted up the road a bit for us to chase, and the car literally pulled out, stopped, and I'd say these lads couldn't have been older than like 18 or 19. They literally pulled up, just took the ball and fucked off.
Respect.
Traumatized at an early age. I was fuming because I'd spent all my pocket money on that ball, like, you know, and it was just gone.
25 quid down the drain. But that's the thing is, perspective on money is mad, because when you're back then and you've no job, like 25 quid is like is the world. Like that's like near. And imagine like that's kind of you saying, "Oh, I've got 100 quid here to spend." We're now, because most of the time you tend to make more money. Although depending on where you're living at the moment, how bad it is back at home. But 100 quid now it's like, to me it's like wow, or like, you know what I mean, like I have 100 quid to spend here, like
spare money, like in that way.
Yeah, like 100 quid spare money, like, you know, like that you can just take it at any use and use it for whatever you have. Like you can go to the shop or you go out for a meal or anything.
Yeah, this is like a really like rough month financially for me, because we're obviously coming over to you guys. It's my granddad's birthday. It's Father's Day, so I'll have to get 2 presents for my grandfathers, and it's Simone's birthday as well.
Oh,
so
we're starting a trust fund for Shaun, guys. It's in the link below.
And actually, as well, I paid my motor tax yesterday as well.
Oh,
and the month before that, I paid my car insurance. So like, it's just been like, I haven't, like, because what I usually do for like this is usually like a thing in March. Like March is a horrible month for me just because I've got so many birthdays in my family, and then there's Mother's Day as well, which I've one less worry on that one this year, but yeah. But I still have to get stuff from my grandmother's, like, and I always got something from my grandmother, like, you know. So Imran's trying not to burst out laughing there. It just was not.
That was funny. Rips in the shop.
So yeah, March is usually a really rough financial month for me. It's just the way things have fallen this year. Is it's made June is like that, but like I would usually like build up some money towards that. Like I'd usually I'd just start buying presents a bit early, or I'd put some money aside if I'm waiting for something. But I just haven't had the chance because of the fucking insurance and tax and
adulting.
Adulting life has just been fucking busy.
I always mess with Daria and my aunties and stuff and being like, you never told me how expensive it is to be an adult. it's mad sometimes. You just get a random bill.
I have beef with society over something. Why the fuck are bins so expensive?
Me, I have to pay for bins here.
Why are bins 100 quid?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? It's a bit of plastic.
Mate, I have to pay for recycling bins here, and are 30 quid a pop for 10 bags. 10 bags. And I'm telling you, living with...
Sorry, did you say 30 quid a pop for 10 bags?
30 quid a pop for 10 bags. You've got to get recycling bags per canton you live in. So we don't pay, like, back in Ireland you pay a yearly fee for your recycling, your black bag, your brown bin, everything. Here they do the opposite. You pay plastic bags that you put your recycling into and then pop it into their bin that we have outside the complex, the apartment complex. It's man, and you'd be surprised how much waste you go to living with two people. You know yourself, like even just little bits you're just popping in there, tissue, all that kind of stuff adds up. So we at the end of the week, me and Nick will be squishing it down where full.
Yeah, I was looking at bins there a few weeks ago for the house, and like just because the bin we had was like we bought one like from like Aldi or something like that, and I was like, oh, I want a slightly nicer bin, like, you know. But I was looking at it, I was like, fuck that, man! It's like 120 quid for like a 60-litre bin that doesn't look like ass. Like, I was like, sorry, pal, fuck this. Like, 'cause our bins is like it's a black bucket basically that's like up to my knee. You know, so I was just like, oh yeah, that's like now I'm not averse to spending a bit of money on something nice, but I was like, sorry, for 120 quid, the thing would want to come over to me fucking table side, take me rubbish, and then fuck off back to the corner, like, you know.
Inflation these days, man.
Inflation, brother, man, it's as well, something else. The couches are fucking mad expensive.
Oh man, don't even talk to me about it. Yeah, when you're buying a couch, you've got to put. You need to look when you're buying a couch. That you know, these are two people that have just firstly moved out, so we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like yeah, man. To be fair, everything about moving out is like, and like having your own place is just like so expensive. Like
so expensive.
Do you know another one? Blinds. Blinds
yeah,
are after fucking draining our bank account. Like
yeah, they're so expensive. The measurements and everything. Shout out to all you new apartment owners.
Yeah.
We feel you.
We feel you. With their parents.
Before we end the podcast, me and Shaun have decided that we're going to do a Q&A for our live session. So what we'll do is Shaun will put on the Instagram page, or you can DM us at Distance Dilemma Podcast on Instagram, or if you want to drop a question on YouTube as well, we'll be answering them for next week's episode. We're trying to find out how we can do it live and how we can record, how it can be recorded for people that miss the podcast so that they can listen to it. But we'll configure all that stuff out between ourselves during the week.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, you can also email us as well. The distancedilemma@gmail.com. The link to email us, if you don't want to type that out, is in our Instagram bio as well. And yeah, it can be, if you have a question, if you don't know who I am and you want to ask me a question, if you don't know who Imran is and you want to ask Imran a question, thank you for tuning in and listening and for having queries about us. Because yeah, like a huge, like, I think a lot of our listeners are actually like coming from yourself, like in Switzerland as well. Like, I think because like you've got a lot of people who are like listening because of the distance dilemma, like, you know, because like they're away from home and stuff as well, like, because that's the original pitch of the podcast, like, you know. So yeah, just yeah, we need as many as possible, like, you know. So do not shy. If you got 2 questions, if you got 10 questions, write them all down, because we've not got a massive bank of questions built up, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Don't worry, we'll waffle along anyway.
yeah, that's like a guarantee every week anyway.
Yes.
Right. I think that is probably the perfect way to sign off on this week's podcast. So, as Imran mentioned, next week's podcast, I just maybe a warning if things are a bit late, like if the clips are coming up late, or if we don't end up posting it on Monday. That's not guaranteed to happen, but it's in the realm of possibilities, is what I'm gonna say, because it's gonna be we got to kind of figure out how we're gonna do this, and we're probably gonna talk about that after we stop recording now. So. Yeah, just if it's not up on Monday like it usually is, just bear with us. Bear with me, partner. Bear with me.
Bear with me.
Yeah, just like like I said, I'm going over to him, so it's going to be our first live podcast, and we can do another one then whenever Imran comes over here. We can do it in my lovely little office, and I can come over to the back cave and do one over there.
Yes.
Right, so yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening to the Distance Dilemma. This was episode number 19. My name is Shaun, and I'm in Dublin. That is Imran, and he is in Thun, Switzerland. And I'll hand you over to Imran. Thank you for listening.
Yes, he just explained the whole process of our podcast at the end of the podcast. Yeah, thanks so much for the support, guys. I always say it at the end of every episode. We do enjoy it. So, looking forward to having Shaun and Simone over. And yeah, see you next week.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.